Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I want to clarify why so many people train hard and still fail to build real strength. This is a very common problem, and in most cases it comes from a simple confusion. People confuse workout with training. A workout is a demanding session. Training is a structured process built around a specific adaptation. Those two things are not the same. You can finish a session tired, sweaty and mentally satisfied and still be doing very little to improve your actual strength if the work is not organized properly. Before we begin, if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to learn more about building strength with more clarity and better structure, subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps support the work and it helps me continue building this series. One of the main reasons people train hard without getting stronger is that their training has no clear hierarchy. In many cases, they include too many exercises in the same session, change movements too often, or fail to distinguish between what is primary and what is secondary. But strength development depends heavily on prioritization. If the goal is to improve pulling strength, for example, then the session should reflect that clearly. A main movement such as the pull-up should receive the greatest attention, the freshest effort, and the most consistent progression. Secondary exercises such as rows can support that goal, while accessory work can address smaller weaknesses. When all exercises are treated as equally important, the result is usually scattered effort rather than directed adaptation. Another major issue is the absence of a progression model. Strength is not built through randomness, it is built through repeated exposure to a demand that can be measured and gradually increased over time. That is why sets, repetitions, intensity, and exercise selection matter. The point is not that one format, such as 5x5, is universally superior, or that every person should follow the same template. The point is that without some stable structure, there is no reliable way to evaluate whether the work is actually moving in the right direction. If the exercises change constantly, if the rep ranges change without intention, and if the effort is improvised from one session to the next, progress becomes difficult to track and even more difficult to produce. There is also a very common confusion between fatigue and adaptation. A hard session can feel productive, but feeling worked does not automatically mean strength is improving. Fatigue is a consequence of effort. Adaptation is the result of an effective stimulus applied with enough quality, specificity, and consistency. These are different things. The important question is not simply whether a session felt hard, but whether it challenged the target movement in a way that the body can adapt to over time. This is why circuit training is often not the best main structure when strength is the priority. Circuits can be useful for conditioning, work capacity, general fitness, and time efficiency. But when exercises are linked together with little rest, local fatigue and systemic fatigue accumulate quickly, technical quality often declines, and the primary movement no longer receives the focused effort it requires. For strength, it is usually more effective to work exercise by exercise, allowing enough rest between sets to preserve output, maintain technique, and make progression more measurable. This does not mean circuits are useless. It simply means they serve a different purpose and should not automatically be mistaken for a strength-focused method. Another important factor is that many people spend too much time on low-priority work. They add variation before establishing competence. They chase complexity before building a base. They invest energy in exercises that may be interesting, difficult, or impressive, but not especially productive for the adaptation they claim to want. Strength training becomes much more effective when the question changes from "what can I do today?" to "what most directly serves the objective." That shift alone creates more clarity, better exercise selection, and more efficient progress. So, if someone is training consistently, putting a real effort, and still not getting stronger, the explanation is not always a lack of discipline or commitment. Very often, the issue is that the work is not organized in a way that produces the desired adaptation. The problem is not the presence of effort, but the absence of structure. Once training becomes more specific, more measurable, and more clearly prioritized, progress usually becomes more predictable, and that is the real difference between simply working out and actually training. If this video was useful, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment below telling me what has held back your progress the most in your own training. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.